What teen movie is the epitome of the older I get, the more I agree with the adult? Watching Scrubs, I realize I'm no longer a JD, I've become a. Sadly, the Wonder Years I always couldn't believe the dad was real, with his attitude from work now I understand. I watched 16 Candles recently, and I now do not approve of Samantha going anywhere near Jake Ryan. The movie Juno, Jennifer Garner's character is at first portrayed as a square, then you realize she's a mature adult and her husband is a man baby. Not a teen movie, but Father of the Bride. Watching it as a kid, Steve Martin seemed like an old grump. Watching it as an adult, holy, he is the only sane person in that movie. Winnie the Pooh. Rabbit was never against playtime, but can you just not do it in his house or garden, you little hellions? The Lion King. Oh, I thought Zazu was just an old fun killer. What do you mean? Simba can't be king. Why would you prevent the kids from going where they want? As an adult and father, I'm 100% team Zazu. Edit. Wow. Thanks for the awards and answers. Some folks pointed out Lion King ain't a teen movie, and you're right. I guess I got carried by the replies and wanted to share the revelation I had about Zazu when revisiting the movie 25 years later with my daughter. Sorry for having drifted away from main topic. Thanks for your answers. Always nice, so share with people from across the world. American Pie. As a new father, I hope to be like Jim's dad when my little one is a teenager, caring, loving, and a complete embarrassment to them. The Mom and Ice Princess. So you have a daughter who has a talent for, and seems to like physics, and has a shot of getting into Harvard. This girl throws it away for ice skating, where she has only been competing for less than a year, where if she gets injured she's done. And when she reaches 30 she's pretty much done. There is no way she is at an Olympic level at that point. She would need years of training. Yes, I would advise against it too. Goop. Meet the Robinsons. Mr. Wilson in Dennis the Menace. Seriously, that little miscreant and his parents that turn a blind eye to his shenanigans. Edit. Thank you for the Reddit gold, kind stranger. Not a movie, but Hank from King of the Hill. I find myself saying that asinine more and more with each passing year. In dancing, Jerry Orbach just wanted a family summer vacation and instead learned entirely too much about his daughters' lives. Not a movie, but Squidward do be making some good points. Gene Wilder in original Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. Stop, don't, come back. Haven't watched the movies, but I assume that the movies are similar enough. Diary of a Wimpy Kid. Bro, your mom just wants to stop being a housewife and have a job, and you complain that she isn't in the house anymore to be your personal. When you get from school you don't even greet her. You just give her your backpack. You little do one thing in your life, you donkey. Did you ever thank her for anything, Gregory? Way late to the party, but I'm gonna say Daria. I used to be a disaffected teen too. All my problems were so huge, and Daria's parents just didn't understand. I watch it now, and Jake Morgendorfer is who I identify best with. He's supposed to seem silly and crazy and out of touch, but now I just see a guy who worries so much about providing for his family, dealing with insecurity about his masculinity, and trying to relate to his daughters any way he can in spite of being completely baffled by them, because his hyper-masculine upbringing left him ill-equipped to relate to girls. Poor Jake, he just wants to be a better dad than his dad, and in spite of his goofiness, I think he does an okay job. Edit. Clearly I was not late to the party. I'm gratified that others feel the same as I do about poor Jackie. Thanks for all the awards. Rugrats. The parents were so young and just doing their best. I like it was a group of neighbors that were best friends too. I get really stressed out on their behalf now, especially the one where Diddy just wants to make it home before her banana tree she bought died in the cupboard. No one could get there together. Good Wilting. A great film to watch as a smug, witty underachiever. However genuinely smart and funny you might be, at least according to your friends. But go back to it 15 or 20 years later, perhaps after losing your wife to cancer, and you'll freak out at this scene. Source: no idea how smart or funny I really used to be, but I was definitely smug. I married the person I'd been with since we were both 16. She died at 33. Cancer. Dr. Doofenshmirtz. He's just trying to do something right and being a good dad. Mr. Mosby from Sweet Life, dude's got it rough. He's just trying to run a hotel, but these kids are bent on sabotaging everything, and to make matters worse they live there, so it's daily occurrence. Edit. These comments have kickstarted my nostalgia. It's time to rewatch the show. Sounds blasphemous to say about a movie I dearly love, and pushing the definition of teen, but Animal House, if you've got a fraternity destroying a campus and members that are flunking out, the dean has to do something, and when he tells Flounder fat, and is no way, to go through life son, well he actually sounds concerned, and that is good advice. Twilight, poor Charlie Swan. Ariel's dad, that line with her saying I'm not a child or something along that. Me now I agree with the dad, since she is still a teen and a young one at that. Edit. I did want to mention I don't agree with King Triton on his actions, of how he handled that situation, but more, just that one statement of him and her fighting about her being a child. I admit as an adult it's infuriating when a kid actually says it, and it's frustrating cause you know you've also been there, and they just don't have a way to know better. But that one scene was probably the moment I realized my childhood was over, when I agreed she is a child. When I was younger I rooted for Jim's shenanigans in the office. The older I get the more I relate to Stanley, and how he just wants to bide his time until retirement. Dirty Dancing, the dad was completely justified in not wanting his teenage daughter to fraternize with a creepy adult male camp dance teacher. Mrs. Doubtfire, but relating more with Miranda than Daniel. As a kid I didn't understand why she lost her when she came home to the petting zoo. The Julia Louis-Dreyfus character and her husband in Christmas Vacation every day. My wife and I are slowly turning into them. Juno 100%. The principal and teacher in Mean Girls, they were just trying to do their jobs. Mrs. Doubtfire, Miranda came home from work, only to find her deadbeat husband hosting a party with wild animals in her home during the ORS. He claimed he was unemployable, then he dressed up like a woman with professional makeup/costume etc. and watched their kids secretly, and tried to her new boyfriend. 10 things I hate about you. When the dad says you're 18. You don't know what you want, and you won't know what you want till you're 45, and even if you get it, you'll be too old to use it. Just rewatched a Goofy movie as an adult. Goofy just wanted to spend time with his kid. That was the whole conflict. Just go fishing with your dad. Maximum. You and Roxanne are breaking up before the sequel anyway. Edit. Since this comment is getting a lot of attention, I wanted to plug one more Disney film you all need to rewatch as adults. Recess, the movie principal. Legit had me in tears, you guys. The Little Mermaid. Twilight, New Moon. As a 12-year-old, Edward's abandonment of Bella was regrettable but understandable. As an adult I don't understand why anyone involved thought it was a good idea, and I'm angry that Carlisle and Esme did nothing to stop their perpetually frozen at 17 years old son from being so. Edward will forever have the mind of a 17-year-old. He will forever be stuck in that not quite grown up state of mind. He should never have been allowed to make that decision. Lilo and Stitch. My opinion of Nanny changed entirely. This part was not included in the movies, but in Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix there is this one particular dialogue by Hogwarts' most loathed principal Finis Nigellus Black which resonates with me till date. Young people are so infernally convinced that they are absolutely right about everything. Has it not occurred to you, my poor puffed up Popinjay, that there might be an excellent reason why the headmaster of Hogwarts is not confiding every tiny detail of his plans to you? Have you never paused, while feeling hard done by, to note that following Dumbledore's orders has never yet led you into harm? No. Like all young people, you are quite sure that you alone feel and think. You alone recognize danger. You alone are the only one clever enough to realize what the Dark Lord may be planning. Finis Nigellus. Not specifically a teen movie, but I watched it as a teen, so get off my lawn. Top Gun Maverick is the who can't follow rules and gets his best friend dead, yet Iceman is a villain for not getting up to hijinks and having an alive co-pilot. Rewatching The Simpsons and realized I no longer relate to Bart. I'm a homer now. Harry Tear. I used to think of Hermione as my role model. Now that I'm working as a school counselor, my role model is McGonagall. Edit. Wow. Didn't expect this kind of reaction. And I got awards. I feel like Neville getting 10 points and winning the House Cup. Thank you so much. Do your homework, Charlie Brown. Uncle Buck. Not a teen movie, but in Family Guy, I used to think Peter was hilarious. Now I'm older. The scenes where Lois seems 100% done with his shenanigans, and where Stewie once said, emotionally, "Mom has already left you." I feel so awful for her. She got saddled with a man-child with the IQ of a lemur with brain damage, who constantly undermines and undervalues her. Every TV nag deserves better. Pitch Perfect. Anna Kendrick's dad. Hey sweetie, excited to get your college degree completely free of charge. Anna Kendrick. Ugh, did you? I'm gonna drop out of college and become a famous music user. Anna Kendrick's dad. Okay, cool plan. How about you do that after you get your free college education? You can even study music here. Anna Kendrick. No, I wanna drop out now. I'm gonna make it, you'll see. Not a movie, but Malcolm in the Middle. I used to think Lois was a horrible mother who overreacted about everything. Now that I'm older, I can see she is just an overworked working class mother with 5 terribly behaved boys. I have an opposite example. Never been kissed. All the adults are sick. That newspaper editor is one sick to send an adult woman back to high school to spy on teenage activities. Josie, ever the nerd, invites her loser brother to pose as a student and make her cool. Both of them end up with teenage dates for prom. And what about that extra sick coach that hires her brother Rob to be a coach after they found out he was posing as a teenager and hooking up with a 16-year-old? Twilight. Charlie was trying so hard to keep Bella comfortable, all while having to deal with a lot of weird stuff happening around the city with little to no real information. Revenge of Sith, with the adult being Obi-Wan, since he was the only actually mature and reasonable person in the galaxy, while everyone else was out playing Game of Thrones and opposed the Chancellor. He was capturing a war criminal and freeing POWs. Then he got called in to clean up Anakin's mess. Not a movie, but that 70s show, and Red Foreman. The older I get, the more I realize that teenagers really need a foot in there. Obligatory. Not a movie, but this is one of the many reasons Calvin and Hobbes is so great. Read it at 7. You see yourself in Calvin, read it at 17. You see yourself in Hobbes, read it at 30. You see yourself in The Parents, and it works phenomenally well on all of those levels. Not a movie, but the TV show Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Still maintain it's a great show, but as a teenager I thought the mother was just so annoying because Buffy had to save the world. But now I'm like, her 16-year-old daughter is leaving at all hours of the night and telling her that she has important to do. Yeah, no, you're staying home, and also probably going to a logist also. If my 16-year-old daughter was chosen to be a vampire slayer, right, go to the Shadow Men and the Watchers Council and be like, take these powers away from her now, because she's not going to be slaying demons. She's a child, thanks. Not a movie, but regular show. I remember how much I hated Benson for being a raging old man most of the time. Then as I grow up I realized that if I had a job like him and had workers like Mordecai and Rigby, I'd probably lose my mind too. Bert from Sesame Street. You just wants to read a book and get some sleep. Frozen. Elsa, 21, only had 3 years on Anna, 18, and yet still knew that marrying someone you just met is a bad idea. In Hook, when Captain Hook is trying to make Pan's kids love him and hate their parents, he says, "Your mother reads to you every night in order to stupefy you to sleep, so that she and daddy can sit down for 3 minutes without you and your mindless, inexhaustible, unstoppable repetitive demands. He took my toy. She hid my bear. I want a cookie. I want to stay up. I want. Me. Mine. Now, can't you understand, child? They tell you stories to shut you up and conk you out. Before you were born, your parents would stay up all night together just to see the sun rise. Before you were born, they were happier. Watching this as a kid, I was like, Hook is a villainous monster. Now that I have kids, I'm like, Hook's just dropping truth bombs, saying what all parents think but never say. Tom and Jerry, it's all fun and games, until you wake up one day and realize Jerry was such a pose. Ugh, welcome to adulthood.